to compare them and maybe do a video. Okay, you got ears on? Yeah. Okay. All right, good morning folks. Today we are talking about the CMMG BR47. This is CMMG's latest entry into their ranch rifle lineup of firearms, the BR series. We've talked in the past about the BR3, the BR4, and now we're talking about the BR47. The BR3 is their AR-10 platform, their BR4 is their AR-15 platform, available in like 7 different calibers, including 9mm. And now they've introduced the BR47, which takes AK magazines, has an AK paddle magazine release, is side charging, but you can swap it to the other side. Basically, this fills a lot of the vibes of the SAIGAs that used to be imported. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I had the opportunity to acquire a SAIGA in 7.62x39, barely ever been shot, in 2015 for under $500, and I passed up on that and haven't been able to stop thinking about it. I think I'm gonna go check out the mouthfeel of this thing. Well, anyways, today we are talking about the BR47, not my California legal 12 gauge AOW build, which I will be talking about soon, just not today. I gotta go out and actually shoot that thing and create some content for you guys before I just educate to you. So, the BR47, what is it? Well, it's chambered in 7.62x39. It's a ranch rifle type of firearm that has a more traditional form factor. It takes AK magazines, and like I've said, it's in 7.62x39, which used to be a very cheap caliber to shoot. Isn't anymore, but I know a bunch of you are probably sitting on mountains and mountains and mountains of Wolf and Tula. You're swimming around like a dragon. You're diving into that bucket of ammo like Scrooge McDuck. I know you're doing it. So this firearm might be very appealing for you. They come in at a price point that's very competitive, similar to the other products in the lineup. You can find a street price of about 17 billaroonies for these things. I gotta be kind of weird with what I say on YouTube sometimes, so go ahead and use some deductive reasoning to understand what I meant there. So I do want to say thank you to everyone that supports this channel. If it wasn't for people like you, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to test out all of these firearms because I simply don't make enough money on this channel. So I want to say thank you to all of you that like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to everyone that uses links in the description, the coupon codes, the affiliate link stuff. We're giving away 200 bucks every month. Check out the giveaway link, hopefully in the description or something like that. Thank you to Gunner for supporting some of the last videos. If you use code Reno at Gunner, you could get a really nice, very affordable, low-power variable optic. If you're in SoCal, check out San Bernardino's best shooting range and the best shooting range in SoCal in my experience. Route 66 Shooting Sports Park down in San Bernardino. Awesome people. They've supported me a lot, and I hope that we can continue to raise a ton of money for the CRPA and other gun rights organizations every year. So, the BR47. If you've seen my BR3 and BR4 videos, this is basically the exact same gun. It comes in a variety of calibers. It has a very, very nice single stage trigger, short reset, very positive, strong reset, really short, really clean, really lightweight break. Anyways, you get the picture. The trigger is really nice. It's basically their CMMG zeroed trigger that they put a custom trigger linkage to, so it breaks and feels just like a really nice single stage trigger. And I think that their CMMG's product lineup for the ranch rifles has the best trigger from the factory, which is really important because on all of these systems, there's not really a whole lot of aftermarket for the lowers for the triggers because they use their own custom designs. So having an awesome single stage trigger, maybe in the future they'll introduce a 2-stage, I don't know, but I know that this single stage trigger is awesome. You can shoot these faster than some of the other ranch rifles. I can't quite shoot this as fast as my ARs with a Geisley, or most recently, my Rise Armament 535 trigger that I've put in one of my guns that I'm testing right now. That thing is blazing fast. If you use code Reno20, you save 20%. But these triggers, they're not holding me back. Now, what I think really holds me back as far as speed goes is this angle isn't quite, there's something about having my wrist at a more optimal angle, because this, you either have to chicken wing it or be kind of cranked down on your wrist. So I can't quite shoot these as fast, but I'm not limited due to the recoil. It's just something to do with my hands. I'm not as used to shooting this quite as fast, but you can still shoot this plenty fast. This gun is awesome. Well, yeah, it's just awesome. It has very much AK-like controls, and I think that this style, I'm not a huge fan of rock and lock AK mags on an AK, but in this form factor of gun, when we compare the reload style of the other similar firearms, where since the magazine release would normally be like up here, I can't reach that as a right-handed or left-handed shooter on the BR3 and BR4. But if I were to, let's say, gun goes click, I could grab a new magazine, pop it out, pop the new one in, and rack it. Now, this magazine is equipped with a last round bolt hold open, but when you take it out, it doesn't lock. So I guess a better way to do that would be to, if I get a click, I can get a new magazine. You know, you can do this fairly quickly, and if you're used to AKs, this is gonna be right up your alley. If you want to swap the charging handle, you can, but I think that of all the reload methods, this is the least of a compromise, because you're already compromising yourself by having a rock and lock mag that doesn't lock open where you have to rack the charging handle. So going from like an AK to this, no difference in reload. You could either click, pop it, new mag, rack, or you could do the fancy way of new mag, pop it out, put the new one in, rack it on either side, depending on where you have the charging handle. So that's pretty neat. When I first took this gun out, I had a few problems where the rounds on the first round or the first few rounds, when I would rack the charging handle and let go, I was not short stroking it. It wouldn't quite pick the round up off the magazine. And then the first few rounds, I would have some issues. Once I got into the mag, it was all good. Well, I didn't really lube it. The gun was kind of factory lubed. That's kind of how I do a lot of my guns. But on that day, I was having some issues with it stripping rounds off. So I took it home, I cleaned it out, I lubed it down. I took it out a few weeks later, shot about 500-600 rounds through it, all over the course of about 40 minutes at most. Didn't have a single problem whatsoever in any of the magazines that I used. And I used this old metal mag. I used a few Bakelite mags. I've used 3 different generations, or 2 different generations, I think, of Magpul mags. I used a US Palm mag that someone let me use at the range. I used an X-Tech magazine. Basically what I'm saying is reliability. After I first got it, I turned the gas open just a few clicks, cleaned it out, lubed it up, and I haven't had an issue since. But when I first initially got it, it was possibly just too dry, too new, too whatever. It's a Cerakoted gun. Sometimes Cerakoted guns are a little bit tight on the inside, and that might have been it. Might have just been a fluke. The ammo that I was using was probably like 7-8 years old at this point, and it was some Wolf or Tula, I'm not even entirely sure, steel case. So could have just been a weird couple mags or a weird couple rounds, but after that, it's been perfectly reliable for me, so I'm not concerned with it at this point. The adjustable gas block is neat because I know that there can be a wide variance in ammo. Magazines can be a little finicky in some AKs, but once I got this gun lubed up, it didn't have an issue. And I got that thing hot enough to smoke off all the lube that was inside it after that second range trip. So I've not had any issues with reliability since, and I'm very happy with that because I was a little bit concerned after that first day, but since then, no issues whatsoever. I didn't really do any hardcore accuracy testing with this gun because I was only shooting steel case, and I mean, I was getting about 3.5 inch, 4 inch, 5-round groups. And yeah, I mean, that's all I could expect out of that ammo, to be honest. I used an LPVO setup on this, and if you've watched my Ranch Rifles buyer guide, you know that you want to get a low profile mount. The low vortex rings with the vortex venom that I was using was a little bit too low, but if you go with something like medium rings, or if you're willing to try out a few different ring setups, you can mount an LPVO pretty low. Otherwise, I would recommend getting a low profile red dot on a mount on this, and that would be awesome. You could also maybe think about getting one of those AK designed prism sights. I know Primary Arms makes a few of them, and those seem to be really popular on AKs. It's like a 2.5 times magnification. People seem to really like those for those guns, and I don't see why it wouldn't be a great setup for this. But I'm more of a red dot with a magnifier type of guy, or an LPVO type of guy when it comes to my intermediate caliber carbines like this. And I really did like this gun a whole lot. So the magazine release on this gun isn't my favorite. If you look here, it's a push button style. The SIG MCXR, in my opinion, has probably the best safety, but the push button safety, I got no problem whatsoever pushing it off safe and firing. But as a left-hand shooter, you could swap that, but taking it off of fire onto safe requires that you kind of round out like this. I really do like this gun a lot. It's very fun. It's got a good recoil pulse. It's not too punchy. This is a 14.5 inch with a muzzle brake on it, so it does cut down a good amount of that recoil. I really did like this gun a whole lot. It's been a lot of fun shooting this gun. I finally had a reason to shoot more 7.62 by 39. The only other gun that I have in this caliber is my AK that was made by Brandon Herrera. And as much as I know that that gun can handle abuse, because I put it through a lot of abuse, I just don't shoot it that often because I'm not a big AK guy. But this was very fun. And if you're interested in getting one, you wouldn't be making a bad choice by going with this firearm. I really did have a good time shooting it. I'm really thankful that people like you have given me this opportunity, because the amount of views that these videos have been getting has allowed me to leverage that to get other companies to work with me and send me out products for demo. So again, I gotta say thank you to all of you, because these videos, this series would not have been possible without you guys. And I'm hopeful that you have all learned enough to take the information that I've given you and make a smart choice for yourself, assuming that this is the type of firearm for you. Obviously, a traditional style AK or AR has their merits above these, and I'm not gonna tell you that they don't. But there's a reason these things sell. People are interested in them, and people want to know about them. And that's why I'm doing this, because one, shooting is really, really fun. I like shooting. I like shooting new stuff. And I like knowing that I can do that and have fun while also providing value to you guys. So if you found this valuable at all, let me know. If there's anything that I didn't touch on this gun, let me know if you have any questions. It's cool that these take the, I believe these are the 870 stocks, the Magpul 870 stocks, or any Remington 870 stocks, but feel free to look up online. I can't remember if it's the Magpul or the Mossberg 500. I believe these are the Magpul compatible stocks, which allows you to put the taller comb on it, which I would recommend. You can adjust the length of pull. The charging handle is non-reciprocating, so I personally recommend people grab behind the charging handle and do either a C-clamp or a thumbs forward grip. The charging handle kind of gives you like a hand stop, so you can kind of just like put your hand up here, and it gives you a good spot to index so that you can always grab it at the same spot every time. If you push the charging handle back out of battery, it will go back forward into battery. Trust me, it will. Oh, and final thing that I forgot to mention, these bolts are beefier and thicker. It's like the CMMG Mark 47 line. The bolts are larger than a typical AR-15 bolt, so you're not going to have the same issues that you have with many of the AR-15 in 7.62 by 39 setups, where the bolt itself is so fragile because they have to take out so much material from the inside of the bolt face that they break. This, in theory, is a beefier, more durable setup than a 7.62x39 AR, which again, I think really does set it apart from the pack because you're not sacrificing as much when it comes to reloads because it's a traditional AK manual of arms reload, and you have the durability in the bolt that you lack with a AR-15. So if you want to shoot 7.62x39, but you don't want an AK, I would legitimately choose this over a 7.62x39 AR. And it kind of has the same look and feel to the SAIGAs, which people really like. Unfortunately, you can't just convert the SAIGA, or you can't convert this into an AR or an AK like you can the SAIGA, and it's not an AK or an AR, but it does offer a lot to the platform. And ultimately, I did really like this gun. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. If you've enjoyed these videos, let me know. This is probably gonna be the last ranch rifle video that I ever make. I've said that many, many times, but then a company makes a new one. So if another company steps into the fray and makes another ranch rifle, I'll probably end up reviewing that. If you wanna see all of these guns kind of compared to each other and just help determine which one is for you, watch my recent video about the ranch rifle comparison. And if you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing, hit like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. If you want to learn more in the future about my California legal 12 gauge AOW with a 10.5 inch barrel, go ahead and subscribe because I will be talking about this likely next week. Thank you.